Hey, it's time for your end of week wheeze speak with your wheezy geezer, this guy. WheezyNews, jang, jing, badonka-donk, boom. So last week, I talked to you about formula and how I don't really stick to them. Well, I got a comment. I feel like my formula has been stuck on not doing anything for as long as possible until I really have to, when I at least half finish it due to time constraints. I can't remember the last time I actually did something with all of my might. I can't think of doing my best or anything more. It ends up me not feeling the sense of achievement. All right, I don't know if this is the case with you, but I tend to be a perfectionist, and perfectionism leads to procrastinationism because it's not perfect in your head, or maybe you try to do something and it doesn't turn out perfect, so you're like, I'm not ready yet, I'm not gonna do it. Well, here's the thing, you're never gonna be ready. There's always gonna be flaws. There's never gonna be enough time. You're always gonna feel rushed. It's never gonna feel like the right moment. That's what I tell myself, and it tends to work. I try to get my mental state into a place where I can say, let's just do it anyway. It. I almost never feel ready when I'm starting a challenge for a main channel video. Setting up this camera, I did not even feel ready to start talking about this video. I don't have all of my thoughts in a row. But the reason I turned the camera on is because I did set myself a limit or a rule that I was going to do a video every week. And I wanted to get this one done before noon. It's 11 a.m. right now. Now, you could say that sounds like, oh, you're just doing this thing out of obligation. Well, maybe, but if I didn't have that time constraint, I wouldn't be doing this at all. I don't feel 100% confident about this video right now that I'm making, but I am doing it because of these time constraints. This is how I started doing Wheezy Waiter from the very beginning. I had lots of ideas for videos or movies or just creative projects I wanted to do, but I never did them. So I decided one day, I'm just gonna start making videos in which I do the whole thing in one day. I'm gonna do it every weekday for as long as I can. The first month I did Wheezy Waiter, I did them every weekday, or first 5 weeks, I think. And I woke up in the morning, got an idea, and then just made the video. Well, it wasn't always morning, it was usually evening. I was waiting tables at the time during the day. But I just gave myself that window of time, and I did the thing. It wasn't gonna be perfect, but it was gonna be honest. It was gonna be me. That's all it ever is. When you make a thing, there's always gonna be a feeling that it's not perfect. There's always gonna be a feeling you could have done this better, you could have done that better, if only. There's always gonna be an if only. So really, what you did in that time is the best you could have done in that time. I think the reason I'm where I'm at in my career to this day is that I got comfortable with just not being ready. I'm not ready to do a thing, but I'm gonna do it anyway, over and over and over and over again. And one way to feel ready, I think, is to set limits. Limits are so useful. I love limits. Limits, limits, limits. One of the scariest things if you're writing something is staring at a blank page, because the possibilities are infinite. And my dog is scratching at something over here. As a perfectionist, infinite possibilities, it's horrifying. That's why I hate shopping. I don't like going to a store with all these options. At a restaurant, I like a small menu. Usually, when we go to a restaurant, we sit down, China looks at the menu for a while. I decide what I want to eat right when I find it without looking at the whole menu. Because I don't like getting my mind in the place where I'm like, is this better? Is this better? Is this better? I just try to avoid it. And if you're a fellow perfectionist, you can do that by setting limits. I don't know what it is you're working on, but figure out how to narrow the scope. If you're working on a video, pick a specific niche, a specific time that it has to be done. Maybe work on it an hour a day. Work on it 10 minutes a day, no matter how you feel in that moment, because you are never going to feel ready. If I waited until I was ready, I would never have started any of my videos, because I never feel ready. Also, if I waited until they were perfect, I would never finish any of the videos. I can see the flaws in all of them. I can anticipate the negative comments that are going to come. I'm usually not surprised by any negative comment, but I have to just shut it out. I can't please everybody. I can't actually make a thing perfect, but getting it done, having done it, feels so good. I'm just trying to get there all the time and shutting out all the other stuff using limits. When it comes to creativity, when it comes to making stuff, limits are everything. Figure out a way to limit yourself. Make it arbitrary. Just do it. I think it'll help. And I think that's it. So I try to make these videos come out every Friday if you'd like to subscribe. And there's a newsletter version of what I just talked about in my latest newsletter. Tuesday Better newsletter comes out every Tuesday. You can subscribe to that, link down there. And there's a podcast version of this if you want to experience this, again, only less so, because no visual element. I already winked, but I'm winking again. 2 winks, 1 video. Lucky you. Okay, after shooting all of that, I have discovered that I had auto gain control on for the audio, which is not what I normally do. The sound is going to be worse for this video, but you know what?